Jameel has made it. 1800 ChessCom. It's been a bit of a journey, and today I'd like to do a little celebratory video, but also to talk a little bit about the realities of this struggle, which I, as a coach and a fan, find fairly interesting. Now, the first thing you can see is this is definitely the progression of somebody who has started playing in the pandemic, going from really below 1,000 to 1,800. And I am interested in Jameel for a variety of reasons, one of which is just that he is part of this surge of chess players who have started playing recently who have never played an over-the-board game. To this date, Jameel has never played a proper over-the-board game. And as I've described in other videos, a big part of the struggle for me as a coach has just been getting him to play longer games, and most of the progress that he's seen has been getting to play longer games. And it's not so much that he distrusts me about the longer games, but like many people in the pandemic who have been playing chess, they have trouble finding the time, both in terms of organizing their life, but also just mentally for a big game that would take a while, and especially one which would require him to maybe go somewhere and play a game. The guy lives in London. He's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of opportunity to go do like a weekend event. One thing that's particularly interesting about this last bit of struggle is that, like many people, life got in the way, especially the last couple months. He was very close to being 1,800, and then it all fell apart. Because mostly his life was, trouble and too busy. And so we were still doing lessons, but he wasn't getting the quality games in that he needed. And even after the dojo training program started, which he's now advancing in due to this, he wasn't able really to have the time to do the necessary work. So a lot of the last couple months has just been inertia. And so I think the good news is that he still has a lot of space to progress in, because like many players, he has yet to actually do the real work of playing a longer game and then digging into it with the annotations. So that being said, I'd like to show the game in which he made 1,800, and very typical, I think, of the struggles at this level. He was white, and what is it? It's a 30-minute game. Why? Because I can't get him to play a longer game. I can't get him to play a longer game. It's a real struggle. So for me, maybe I should tell him, Jameel, I'm not going to coach you. And honestly, that would be, if I hadn't been on this journey for so long, I would tell him that. But we've been on this journey, and I really want to see where it goes. And I'm hoping that he can finally start playing some longer games, especially over the board. So one thing that's interesting about this, is that we have ourselves a Danish gambit. And what I love about this is I just wanted him to develop the pieces at the beginning of our journey. He's rated, I don't know what he was rated, way down low. I just wanted him to develop the pieces. And he wanted to learn openings right then too. And I was like, no, we can't do openings. So we just started doing this, and I assumed at some level long ago, somebody would have played a game against him, which would at least give him the feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't so good. No one's ever given him any grief with this at all. This has worked out fine. Perhaps on the journey to 1,900, we will finally see somebody that will give him some grief. But up until now, it has not happened. Okay, so black, maybe wisely, does this. And now black plays bishop g4. So one thing that I've seen in creating the dojo opening repertoire, the aggressive repertoire for white, is that we get critical positions early. That means positions where if somebody makes a mistake either side, it's going down quickly. And so it creates this real sense of urgency early on to spend some time and calculate. And right here, both sides are going to blunder. And what you're going to see here is that this is where, at a higher level, the game would be decided for either black or for white. So I want to stress, like, these kinds of tactics here that I'm going to demonstrate are what will make the difference for going to the next level. So bishop g4 is a mistake because it leaves this pawn unattended and forgets that his king is in the middle of the board and really needs to go this way. And after queen b3, I think it's a very rough life for black. But let's look at what Jameel does. He plays bishop f7, and he didn't think too long about it. His opponent takes, and interestingly, he was thinking about it, so it was clear to me he didn't see what the problem was either. And knight g5, this was Jameel's attention. Nah, black just had to take here, and now black's going to be up a piece. That's it. Goodbye, right? So, thank you very much. Black missed it, though, and we get this whole thing where now black is much better. And I just want to show one more thing. Knight e5, very nice move, by the way. And now there's nothing that black can do. And now I just want to show one quick thing here. So queen b5, knight c6. Should Jameel take on b7? Yes. He goes back. And I think at some point in one of our lessons, I told him if you could repeat, maybe you should. Well, you just got to be careful he doesn't have any other moves. Now his opponent plays a more challenging move. Now, is white still winning here? Yes, he is. But here, he's got to take on f8. Of course, before, the queen b7 position was much simpler than this. And here he just needs to see that rook e8 is not doing anything because of this move. I guess we could play queen f3 here, check too. But we take, and then if this knight does anything, we can come back at our leisure. In fact, maybe one variation you have to see is that we have this beautiful thing. Okay, so he misses this, and both sides are going to blunder a little bit here. Yeah, knight d4. And here b3, bishop b2 would be the easiest. But Jameel does eventually win this game after some back and forth. And one of the things, the other struggles, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but I will just hint at it, in that this game goes to move 72, is that one of the problems for Jameel is that because he isn't playing longer games, he's not getting the experience of how to close a game out, often getting into time pressure and often blowing it. In fact, most of the games where he did not make it were situations like this where he has a winning position and needs to convert it. So part of the reason to do this is to see that I know, or let me just put it this way, that I know there are thousands, tens of thousands of people out there like Jameel who have started to play chess and who are on their journey. Not all of them have coaches. That's okay. You can join the training program. You can do things on your own. But the thing to see is that Jameel needs to play longer games where he's thinking about what is going on. And that sounds trite, but that is what needs to happen. And the good news for Jameel is that he's gotten this far. This is great that he's gotten to 1800 without ever having really done the serious work yet. And even though it sounds ridiculous, because we've had a lot of lessons and he does know a lot of things about chess, but the experience of competition and of closing a game out, he doesn't have the experience yet. And there's a lot of positions where I need him to be thinking longer. Let's put one on the board over here with on bishop g4 and calculating bishop f7. That's the kind of thing where I need him to play several games like this where he says, does it work? And I'm going to spend maybe 10 minutes thinking about it. That's the deep thinking that he's going to need to go forward. All right, till next time. Bye-bye.